Pipeline Technology Podcast, brought to you by Pipeline and Gas Journal, the decision-making resource for pipeline and midstream professionals. And now your host, Russel Treat.
Welcome to the Pipeline Technology Podcast, episode 31. On this episode, we have multiple guests from multiple companies because this episode's all about conversations from the floor of the trade show at Pipeline Pigging and Integrity Management.
So Cedric, great to meet you. Just for the listeners, we're here on the floor of Pipeline Pigging and Integrity Management. And Cedric, why don't you tell us who you're with and what you guys do? We'll start there.
Sounds good. Well, good morning, Russell. So I'm Cedric Oudinot. I'm the president of CSNRI. What we do is effectively solving integrity challenges that our pipeline operators and customers are facing every day using engineered composite solutions. And that's really our primary purpose. So our target market is what we define as the critical infrastructure, and that encompasses the overall energy infrastructure, if you will, from the separation facilities, midstream pipelines, obviously, all the way to downstream refineries, assets, tanks, terminals, and any type of corrosion threats, type of cracks that are part of their integrity management program. We try to address them through design engineered solutions with our composites.
So I'm sitting here in the booth and I'm watching. You guys have some cool videos here and some awesome displays. What do you think about PPIM this year? It seems to me that it's like we're back in business.
Yeah, for sure, Russell. So as for the story, I joined this company 3 years ago, and so my first PPIM was literally when COVID was kind of rolling over the world, and everybody was kind of expecting
hammering the brakes at that time.
It was, and truly was very poorly attended, and that's been effectively the case since then. This is the first year I see like a true revival. Everybody's there, operators there, so the full community is back, and it's great to see.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Just the energy level is back to what I remember prior to COVID. And I'm seeing that, in pretty much everywhere I'm going. It's like business is back, which is great.
Absolutely right.
So what are you guys presenting or talking about this year that's new or different, or what kind of interesting problems are you working to solve these days?
So, Russell, the interesting thing is composites are nothing new, right? We've been around with various names and technologies for over 30 years in the industry. And what we do is continue to invest in material science, formulation development, but more importantly in application testing and engineering, right? So, when customers have issues with, crack management, we've started kind of designing solutions for them, and then joint industry programs or JIPs to demonstrate that our solutions were effectively valid for the specific application. So we stress test everything we do, at a much greater magnitude that you'd see in the field to make sure that everybody's reassured, from the regulators to the pipeline operators, of course.
Right. So that, to me, in this world of pipelining, one of the funnest things we ever get to do is break stuff.
Right.
So, and there's not very many opportunities to do that. So it sounds like that's a key part of your business, is making sure you understand what the limits of the repairs actually are through actual destructive testing.
That's exactly right. So we've got a lot of predictive modeling and of course, material science extension that will predict when things break. And we like to break things to make sure the models are accurate, right? So that's kind of this ongoing validation. But you're right. We have a lot of fun breaking pipes with various defects. It's actually quite amazing when you see a hydro test that goes boom, and you're right next to it, obviously in a safe space, but nevertheless, it's the impact that you hear is just overwhelming.
Yeah, in my military training, we called that a significant emotional event.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. It's shocking even when it's planned.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, you never quite know when it happens. You're never quite ready. Right. But really, when you go back in there, it's all depressurized, and you kind of look at a piece of metal that's pretty thick, that's kind of laying almost flat open, and then the composite rings that are still intact. It kind of makes you think that's why we fly in composite aircraft these days.
Right.
There's a lot less challenges around this when you've seen it. Destructive.
Yeah. No, it's the things we can do with materials these days in terms of strength, it's incredible.
Absolutely.
Are you guys presenting any white papers or presentations this year?
Yeah, we do. We've got 2 white papers or technical presentations. One on Thursday, and the topic is how do we model composite applications for colonies of cracks, so what we call SSC. And I think that's really an interesting extension. We've done a lot of crack repairs over the years. This is kind of expanding the scope to colonies of cracks, so that's what's called from one to many. And then the other one is effectively how have we done geohazard mitigation for some of our operators in North America, and we've really evaluated the composite solutions under a variety of testing, axial, bending loads, to kind of try to, again, simulate the geohazard type of environment and stress that the pipeline infrastructure is under in some of the geohazard risk areas.
Yeah, so I'm not an integrity guy, but having done this podcast now for a while, I kind of notionally understand it, and certainly geohazards and things like rock dents, bending strain, slope strain, all that kind of stuff is very top of mind for integrity management and integrity engineer folks.
Right, absolutely. I mean, that's been one of the big topics in the industry, and so we've picked it up about 3 years ago. We started designing around these type of different traces, and we've invested a lot in third-party testing and validation. Again, part of GIPs, and some of them are proprietary with operators as well.
Awesome. Well, look, great to meet you. Good luck on the show. I hope that just half these people come by and talk to you guys.
Yeah.
You'll have a great show.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we're really happy to be here. Thanks, Russell, for stopping by.
All right. Thank you.